Alright, y'all, buckle up because we are about to dive into one of the most wild celeb relationship stories you've heard in a minute. So, get this, Claressa Shields, the two-time Olympic gold medalist and boxing queen, allegedly has Papoose's name tattooed on her body. Yes, Papoose, the rapper who's been married to Remy Ma for over 2 decades. And no, this isn't some small tattoo hidden away. It's right under her pectoral area, which she was literally showing off during her weigh-in for her fight tomorrow. You know when someone wants to send a message loud and clear, right? Well, this is it. Claressa was rocking what looked like a Gucci bodysuit or swimsuit, styled perfectly so the bottom of her pectoral area was out, and she did this on purpose so folks would see that tattoo. I'm about to show you a clip, but heads up, I gotta blur some things out to keep this YouTube friendly. But don't worry, I'll zoom in so you can get a good look at that tattoo. Trust me, this is next level. So, here's what we know. The tattoo is real, and it's Papoose's name inked on Claressa's skin, right there under her pectoral area. Now, the video I found had to be zoomed in a lot, and I had to censor the area. So it's not crystal clear, but there are plenty of pictures floating around on social media where you can see the name pretty clearly. This is wild because, let's be real, tattooing a man's name on your body is a huge deal. Even more so when the man is still legally married to someone else. And to add to the drama, this isn't some casual fling. Claressa seems deeply involved emotionally. She's acting like she's head over heels for Papoose, like he's her whole world. And honestly, from the way she's moving, it seems like she's never been in a serious relationship before, or at least never experienced this kind of attention and affection. She's totally smitten. Now let me backtrack and fill you in on how all this madness began. Claressa and Papoose met back in 2024. The story goes that they crossed paths at a fight event in July of that year. Papoose approached Claressa, shook her hand like a gentleman, and told her he was a fan of hers. From there, things escalated. Claressa invited him to her fight in Detroit and even slid into his DMs to hook him up with VIP tickets. That's when the relationship started to blossom, and the rest, as they say, is messy history. But here's the kicker. Papoose is still married to Remy Ma. They are separated but haven't legally divorced yet, which adds a whole layer of complexity to this situation. For those who might not be up to speed, Remy Ma and Papoose have a long history together. They've been married since 2008, which means they've been a couple for over 21 years. That's a lifetime in the entertainment industry, especially with all the ups and downs they faced. One major incident that shook their relationship was back in 2023 when it came out that Remy Ma cheated on Papoose with a guy known as Easy the Block Captain. When Papoose found out, he was furious. He deleted all of Remy's pictures off his Instagram and publicly cut ties. Since then, there's been a war of words and public spats between the two. Easy and Remy were together for a couple of years, but their relationship fizzled out earlier this year. So now Remy and Papoose are still separated but legally married. The tension between them has made room for Papoose to be with Claressa, but the story is far from over. Claressa is out here treating Papoose like he's the love of her life, and honestly, she's acting like she's never been loved like this before. She calls him her best friend and praises his support as something different than she's ever experienced. When asked what made her fall in love with him, she said it's the way he talks. He's kind, humble, knowledgeable, and of course, an amazing rapper. But it goes beyond just admiration for his talent. Claressa claims they're already planning a family. She said, and I quote, "I'm going to have a baby next year. We already have it planned out. I'm going to have a baby next year. And then after I go through my stuff, then I'll come back and fight some more. And then probably have another one, and then do the same thing again." She's got this whole future laid out with him, even though he hasn't divorced Remy yet. By the time Claressa Shields stepped onto that stage, it was already too late. The cameras were rolling, the crowd was buzzing, and the weigh-in was supposed to be just another routine boxing formality. But what unfolded in those next few moments wasn't just unexpected. It was catastrophic. This wasn't sports. This was a masterclass in calculated chaos. Because Claressa didn't just show up with confidence, she showed up with a bomb under her bra line. Literally. She lifted her arms for the camera, revealing a freshly inked name tattooed right below her pectoral area. One word, one name, Papoose. Let's just pause and take that in. Papoose as in the rapper, as in Remy Ma's husband, as in the man we all thought was still solidly committed to one of hip-hop's most sacred partnerships. And here comes Claressa Shields, undefeated, unapologetic, parading his name like a trophy etched into her skin during a moment the entire world was watching. That's not shade. That's a full-blown eclipse. And let's not pretend this was some impulsive act of rebellion. This was no accident. This was deliberate. This was theater. A one-woman demolition job against one of the most iconic couples in entertainment history. Claressa didn't flinch. She didn't smirk. She didn't wink. She stood there cold as steel, like the tattoo was her championship belt and Papoose was the prize she just claimed. And the internet, it exploded. Screenshots of the tattoo flooded social media timelines within minutes. Zoomed-in images, reaction memes, and hashtags like hashtag #PapoosTattoo, hashtag RemyWatching, and hashtag Claressa claimed him trended at lightning speed. This wasn't just about a tattoo. It was about the name she chose, the timing of the reveal, the placement on her body, and the unmistakable target of her bold declaration. To understand the full scope of this mess, you've got to grasp the legacy being put at risk. Papoose and Remy Ma weren't just lovers. They were a brand, a cultural symbol of loyalty in hip-hop. They weathered jail time, public scandals, and the relentless pressures of fame. They were the ride-or-die couple everyone pointed to when talking about Black love. Or so we thought. Enter Claressa Shields, dubbed the GWOAT, the greatest woman of all time. In boxing, and now, perhaps one of the most strategic shockmakers in entertainment. She didn't just flash a name. She shattered a legacy. And it wasn't done carelessly. This was calculated. Papoose was in the building during the weigh-in. He didn't look away. He didn't flinch. According to insiders, he stood by the wall, arms folded, stone-faced, like he had already seen the tattoo, and maybe even approved of it. One member of Claressa's inner circle, who asked to remain anonymous, revealed this was no spur-of-the-moment stunt. The tattoo appointment was reportedly booked right after Claressa signed her fight contract. And according to this source, Claressa told her team, "This one's bigger than a belt." Nobody dared question her after that. And now, looking back, it all makes sense. This wasn't just a woman acting on emotion. This was a woman staking her claim, inking her intention into flesh, and declaring war on a narrative that had long been shaped by Remy and Papoose's perceived unbreakable bond. Claressa wasn't lashing out, she was executing a plan. And if you've been paying attention, you'll know this didn't come out of nowhere. Claressa had been dropping cryptic clues for months. Her Instagram captions became increasingly suggestive. Real kings move in silence. The only woman who gets him is the one who bleeds for him. What's mine was never really hers. At first, fans dismissed them as generic motivational quotes. But now, those captions are being re-examined as breadcrumbs, coded messages foreshadowing what was to come. The comment sections had already begun speculating. Is she talking about someone's man? Why do her posts sound like warnings? It was all there. The writing was on the wall, or, more accurately, under her bra line. What makes this even more jaw-dropping is the timing. This wasn't some late-night social media reveal. Claressa did it on the eve of a major fight, during a media-saturated moment with cameras rolling and eyes glued to every detail. That's not drama, that's psychological warfare. And it worked. Remy Ma, scheduled to sit ringside as a VIP guest, reportedly vanished from the arena moments after the weigh-in. No post, no comment, no story, nothing. Just gone. Her silence was louder than any diss track, and her absence told us everything we needed to know. Behind the scenes, the chaos was even worse. Two insiders backstage described Remy as furious, arguing on the phone in a hallway, visibly shaking, and lashing out at staff. One assistant tried to comfort her and was shoved away. She couldn't believe he let it happen, one of the sources said. And who could blame her? Because here's the twist. Papoose didn't stop it. He didn't deny it. He didn't even react. When approached by a local reporter for a comment, all he said was, "No comment." In today's world of public image management and viral scandals, silence isn't just complicity, it's confirmation. And Papoose's stone-faced approval of Claressa's act has fans speculating wildly. Was he caught off guard, or was this all part of a bigger plan? Some fans believe this was orchestrated by him, that maybe he's been done with Remy for a while and just never made it official. Others think he's trapped in a media circus and too stunned to speak. Now let's get real for a second. How do you plan babies and a future with a man who's still legally married? Papoose says he's been trying to get divorced for years and accuses Remy of being a narcissist who's holding things up. But the truth is, no matter how much they point fingers, the divorce hasn't happened. That means, legally, Papoose is still married to Remy Ma. And this is not some quick breakup. Minus 21 years is a huge chunk of anyone's life. They've been through everything together, including Remy's time in prison. So the question is, can Papoose really move on without clearing this major hurdle first? The answer should be yes, but so far that hasn't happened, which makes Claressa's baby plans feel a bit premature. Now here's the drama I'm betting on. If Papoose leaves Claressa, or if he somehow reconciles with Remy, Claressa is going to lose it. I'm telling you, this woman is acting like she's never had a man treat her like this before, and if things don't go her way, she could really snap. She's tough too. She's a boxing champ, remember? So if there's going to be drama, she's not just going to sit back quietly. I can see the headlines now. Claressa Shields goes off after breakup with Papoose. It's a powder keg waiting to blow. Claressa is 30 years old. She's not some teenager making reckless decisions. She's a highly accomplished athlete, a two-time Olympic gold medalist from Flint, Michigan, who has conquered multiple weight divisions in boxing. Given her background and maturity, some people find it surprising that she's tattooing a man's name on her body like she's a teenager in a first serious relationship. But then again, love makes people do crazy things, and maybe this is just her way of showing how much she's committed. Or maybe it's a sign she's still learning about complicated relationships, especially with a man who is not fully available. The online reaction has been brutal. Some people hate Claressa because she's confident, successful, and now she's with Papoose. There's a lot of salt coming from women who have had their own relationships messed up or who just don't want to see someone else win in love. But let's not forget where Claressa came from. She rose up from Flint, Michigan, a tough city, and became a champion. That kind of resilience deserves respect, not hate. Plus, this isn't just about a rebound. Claressa seems serious about this relationship, which makes the haters even more frustrated. It's like they want to break her down because she's shining while others are still stuck. There's so much going on beneath the surface here. Papoose has been with Remy for 21 years. They have history, kids, and years of shared life, including dark times like prison. So, for him to move on with Claressa without finalizing his divorce seems complicated, if not unfair, to everyone involved. Claressa's plans for babies and family life might be rushing into things without the full picture sorted out. And then there's Remy, who's been publicly feuding with both of them, sometimes playing the victim, but also striking back hard. When Papoose found out about Easy the Block Captain, he didn't hesitate to confront him physically. The drama is thick, and it's hard to see a peaceful resolution anytime soon. Claressa has big goals. She's still fighting, still competing at the highest level, and she's thinking about starting a family. Balancing that with this complicated relationship is going to be a challenge. If things get messy, it could distract her from her boxing career. But on the other hand, if this relationship works out, it could give her the emotional support she's been craving. Either way, it's a huge gamble. So, what do you think, fam? Is this true love, or is this just a hot mess waiting to explode? Is Claressa acting on her heart, or just caught up in the moment? Will Papoose finally get that divorce, or will he stay stuck in this complicated middle ground? And what about Remy? Will she fight to get him back, or has that chapter closed? I want to know your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about Claressa tattooing a married man's name on her body and planning a family with him before a divorce is finalized. Do you think this relationship will last? Is it real or just a rebound? And are we witnessing a drama that's going to get even bigger? Let's talk about it. Alright, that's all I got for you today.